What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. First thing you're noticing is I'm back here doing the NFL picks this week for this week and for next week, possibly even the week after. We'll be doing very low production value picks. I'm on night shift this week, and then next week Brandy's going to be gone, and then so we're going to be doing picks for a couple weeks here in very low production value studios. We even call it that, low production value studios. How about that? But that is not going to stop me from bringing you the football content that you need and crave. Also not going to stop me from eating really weird crap while I do it. So we've got we're going to do a viewer special with the NFL picks this week. We've got everything I'm going to eat today was submitted by you, the viewer. We've got some macaroni and cheese and hot dog gummies submitted by my son Peyton. Ooh, yummy, scrummy. Brandy's parents, Glenn Campbell. Oh, that's a singer. Sandra and Wayne Campbell got me the Bean Boozled Fiery 5 challenge. We'll end up eating a whole box probably. That ain't no big deal. We got some toxic slime candy. And just really sour candy from my nephew Devin. And Brandy thought it would be funny for me to drink grass-flavored jelly. Grass jelly drink. Okay, grass jelly drink. And then last but not least, our beloved Lockhart's got me really freaking hot popcorn from the Great American Popcorn Company in Galena, Illinois. So I guess without any further ado, I'm Matty Ice, and it's eating time. So, last week, we'll just go do a quick recap. Last week, Declan won outright. He had 11 correct picks. Andrew had 10. Myself and my dad had 9. And picking up the rear, as he always does, Don with 8. So, congratulations, Declan. You lead 2-1. 2 weeks to 1. That being said, let's get you ready for your Week 4 picks, which the games start tonight with the Lions at the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers. Lions come in at 1.5-point favorites. They're both 2-1. Every single one of us picked the Lions this week. Green Bay gets Christian Watson back, and a lot of their players are injured. They have a lot of questionable injuries that are questionable. You don't know, game time decision kind of thing, which I hate that. It really makes it tough to do this, and if you were to gamble on it, it really makes it hard. Detroit's offensive line is pretty banged up. Detroit has scored 20 points or more in 12 straight games, while Green Bay is giving up less than 21 points a game. So one of those has to break, has to give up, has to give. And like I say, we're all going with Detroit. So that's their Thursday night game. What are we going to start with? How about slime liquor, sour candy? Is it closed? I bet it's closed. Yep. Well, that was embarrassing. Not going to do quite as many facts with these games. We'll try to pick up the pace a little bit on some of these. So, oh, well, that is a little sour. No, it tastes horrible. So there's that. Next up, we've got the Atlanta Falcons at I use that term loosely, at the Jacksonville Jaguars, even though it is in London. I think it's starting at like 8 o'clock in the morning Central Time, 8:30 Central Time. You know, Minnesota played in this game last year, and I was able to watch the game down at the Star Bar in Fairfax at 8 o'clock in the morning. That was, at least my football day was, for me, it was done by noon. Oh, that was actually pretty nice. But Jacksonville coming in at 3-point favorites. Atlanta's playing well better than expected this year, coming in at 2-1. I don't think a lot of people expected a lot out of Atlanta, but they are playing a lot better. And, it seems like every time I pick Jacksonville to win, they don't. And when I don't pick Jacksonville to win, they do. Very up and down team since Trevor Lawrence came in. Just yet to make a complete. Yes, they made the playoffs last year, but it's just so up and down. It's so hard to bet on Jacksonville. And I'm not going to do it this week. Myself and Don Frank picked Atlanta, and then Declan and Andrew picked Jacksonville. My dad was not able to pick this week. Had prior commitments, so it's just the four of us this week. So Dad's already going to take the loss. So, let's go with some macaroni and cheese gummies. Kraft macaroni and cheese gummies, nonetheless. Well, they look like macaroni and cheese. They do not smell like macaroni and cheese. And they actually taste very delicious, unlike macaroni and cheese. Oh, those are actually really good. Wow. Okay. Oh my. Wow, those are good. Hope the hot dog ones taste like this too. Next up, we got the Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles. Washington coming in at 2-1. There's something sticky on the table. Philadelphia's 3-0. Philadelphia coming in at 8.5-point favorites. We're here week 3, and we still have teams with more than a touchdown favorite. Like I said last week, there just seems to be no parity in the NFL. There's like 4 or 5 good teams, and then the rest are just absolutely terrible. The NFL's really got to fix that. I don't know, is there too many teams? Not enough good players to go around? I don't know, but 8.5, really? We all did pick Philadelphia for, a few reasons. Philadelphia, like Kansas City, already has a Swift and Kelsey combo. Kansas City with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey. Well, the Eagles have DeAndre Swift and Jason Kelsey. So, Philadelphia did it first. Kansas City's just trying to copy them, of course. The Philadelphia combination of them two is just way less irritating. Sorry for your Taylor Swift fans out there. Jalen Hurts, if you look at his stats, not even close to playing at the same level as Kirk Cousins. Yes, I'm a Viking fanboy, but Jalen Hurts he's not really having to play it that well. Kirk's running for his life, throwing for his life, and Hurts just, yep, there you go, touchdown, we win, bye. Interestingly, Washington gave Philadelphia their last loss last year, and will his repeat itself? Well, none of us thought so. Eric Bieniemy had the offense playing really well for Washington, but that was until they actually played a decent team last week and got their butt kicked. So, we're all going to Philadelphia also. So, let's try a little something different here, and we can revisit some of these. The macaroni and cheese ones we're going to eat those. Oscar Mayer hot dog flavored gummies. No, well. And I'm sure I'm going to see plenty of comments in there, either here or Facebook or whatever, of eating wiener-shaped stuff. But, 5 wieners at a time? That's about right. Or something stupid. Well, they smell like the mac and cheese. It's only a half hot dog. Well, there. Very, very like a $2 steak. That slime all over me. Not from the hot dog. Not very flavorful, very chewy, but what the hell. The next game is a game that I wish, when the NFL flexes games, they can move them from noon to Sunday night. Or even Sunday at 3, just to get more TV exposure. But sometimes I wish they could take a game and move it to like Wednesday morning or Tuesday night, so nobody has to see it. And that's the 0-3 Denver Broncos at the 0-3 Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears have not won since October 24th of last year. 13 straight losses. Are you kidding me? 13 losses. Boy, am I glad we avoided that Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus combination in Chicago, because we're 0-3 and that's bad enough, but at least there's a light at the end of the tunnel in Minnesota. Chicago, how do you lose 13 in a row? That's where the whole parity thing comes in. Denver gave up a 70 burger last week to the Miami Dolphins. So Denver gave up 70, and I'm fully their defensive coordinator Vance Joseph, I think, is the cure for CTE, the cure for concussions, because Tua Tagovailoa was a concussion machine until this game, and he might not even have to wash his jersey after last week. Broncos defense, I think they're the cure for CTE. You might want to look into that. Will they give up 70 this week to the Bears? Not a chance in hell. I think the Bears give up like 40 points a week or something crazy. Maybe that's the Broncos. But the Bears should. I don't even know. We all picked Denver, but this really could go either way. And the Bears last week against Kansas City were down like 41-0 before they scored 10 points, and that Swift Kelsey combo could have. Taylor Swift could have probably put up 4 touchdowns versus Chicago, as bad as they played. Chicago is a mess. They could. So this game could end up being for the number 1 overall draft pick, and because Houston also has Carolina's first round pick from last year, Chicago could end up with essentially the first and second overall picks in the draft. That's just wild to even think about. So we all picked Denver. 70 point. They gave up 70 points last week, and they're 3.5 point favorites this week. How bad does that tell you how bad the Bears are? It's just incredible. So we got some grass-flavored jelly to wash that bad take out of my mouth. Well, I've drank worse. I have drank worse. Grass-flavored jelly. Why do I keep saying that? Because they actually make this in a jelly. Grass flavored drink. I have drank worse. Not much, but I have drank worse. Next up, we got the LA Rams at the Indianapolis Colts. Rams are 1-2. The Colts are 2-1. Colts are 1-point favorites. We all took the Colts because the Rams couldn't even beat an injured Joe Burrow in Cincinnati last week. Lost that Super Bowl rematch. And the Colts, behind Anthony Richardson, upset the Baltimore Ravens. Anthony Richardson's looking more and more like the leader of that team. So congratulations to them. Colts 2-1. We know we didn't certainly expect that. So very good job to the Colts. Where are we going? Let's do some more mac and cheese before we break out the popcorn and the Bean Boozled. No. See, the hot dog ones, those are terrible. They're terrible. Clean this table. There's slime, sticky everywhere. Next up, Baltimore at the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore 2-1, Browns 2-1. Browns are 2.5 point favorites. Declan picked Baltimore. me and Andrew and Don all pick Cleveland. Baltimore couldn't hold a lead against Indianapolis, as I just stated last week. And Cleveland's playing a lot better, obviously, than everybody also expected. They handled the Titans and now make the cause that they could be a playoff team. The Titans didn't expect to be a playoff team, and yet here we are. Deshaun Watson's playing much better, like I said. So look for Cleveland to cover them points. Bean Boozled. We got sriracha, jalapeno, cayenne, habanero, and Carolina Reaper gummies. You've seen me do this, but we're just gonna eat the whole box. Supposed to, I don't know, what are the rules here? You and your friends. I don't have my glasses on. Well, can you handle the heat? Well, you guys already know I can. We're just gonna hot jelly beans. No, that was a mistake. Oh. Oh my God. The jalapeno one is so very flavorful. That was hot. Where was I? Oh yeah, the other trash bowl game of the week. The 0-3 Vikings at the 0-3 Panthers. The Adam Thielen revenge game, if you can call it that. My tongue is on fire. If you can call it that. We all picked Minnesota. They're 3-point favorites in an 0-3 versus 0-3 game. You know, the one thing I can say about Minnesota is if you guys end up losing this game, at least you'll save my my heart attacks for next year or something, because you guys go to 0-4, and it's no longer going to dictate the rest of my fall and winter, because, you know, yes, I'll still watch, I'll still root for you, but, you know, I won't be on the edge of my seat every week waiting, are you going to win, is it going to come down the last? I literally age like 10 years every time I watch the Vikings play. It's kind of hard to, you know, if I'm having a beer or two or anything else, it's kind of hard to let that sink in when my adrenaline's just every time that I'm watching a Vikings play. So, you know, the Vikings blitzed on 82% of the plays last week. Holy cow. 82% of the plays last week and got one sack. Are you kidding me? One sack? Justin Herbert had like 2.4 seconds to throw on every play and still put up monster numbers with him and Keenan Allen. Like, really? If you're going to live by the blitz, die by the blitz, and they died by the blitz like every time they did it. So, oh, those were hot. I mean, again, the defense is playing terrible. I mean, Danielle Hunter's got 5 sacks, and that's literally like the only person on that defense doing anything. The O-line is terrible, as always. Dalton Risner going to fix it? Probably not, but it's a step in the right direction. Kwesi is the general manager using the Moneyball approach. I don't think he's ever watched football because he's not putting us even remotely in a place to win. Minnesota might actually have to play against Andy Dalton, which is, to me, scarier than facing Bryce Young. I mean, yeah, he's only played 2 games, but the last time he played quarterback for the Panthers, Bryce Young lined up behind the guard instead of the center for a play. But Kirk Cousins has also done that, but he was with like Washington when he did it. So we all picked Minnesota. This could be the last time I pick Minnesota for a while, because the schedule it gets brutal in the coming weeks after this. Chiefs and Niners and whatever. Do some more of these beans. Maybe. I haven't eaten them on an empty stomach, too. That's probably not a good idea. There was a piece of grass jelly in there. Lovely. Next up, we got Cincinnati at Tennessee. They're both 1-2. Tennessee's 1.5-point favorites. We all picked Cincinnati. Excuse me. We all picked Cincinnati. Joe Burrow is still nursing that calf. With him in there, it's so much of a different team. It's almost like drinking bubble tea right now. If you guys ever had bubble tea, there's little pieces of grass jelly in here. Yeah, there's a lot of grass jelly in there. And with Tennessee, Derrick Henry and the offense are really struggling to play. So we all took Cincinnati on that one. All right, you're gonna have to give me a minute. I'll be right back. My mouth is on fire. Ah! Hang on. Well, I'm sweating on the seat that I'm sitting on. Oh, them jelly beans are hot. Where was I? Tampa Bay 2-1 at New Orleans 2-1. This actually should be a pretty decent game. New Orleans was 3-point favorites, but we all took Tampa Bay nonetheless. Alvin Kamara returns for New Orleans. Derek Carr could be out with a shoulder injury. Jameis Winston, who throws as many touchdowns as interceptions, could start for New Orleans. Tampa Bay under Tom Brady won both games against New Orleans last year. And Tampa Bay lost last week. They looked good in their first two games against Minnesota and Chicago, but who hasn't looked good against them? And they lost their first decent team they played last week to Philadelphia. So either way, we're all taking Tampa Bay. Wow, them jelly beans. Let's try this popcorn. Really freaking hot popcorn. Wow. It smelled just like the other popcorn I had a few weeks ago when I did this video. Tastes just like it too. Like very heavy on the chili powder. I just ate 4 pieces, but my mouth is still rolling from the jelly bean. We got everything opened at least, so next week I think is going to be a game that if you could flex this early in the season, this will be the game to do it. The Miami Dolphins 3-0 at the Buffalo Bills 2-1. Buffalo's 2.5-point favorites. Myself, Andrew, and Don picked Miami, and Declan picked Buffalo. Sadly, it's going to be in an area where I'm not going to be able to see the game unless I have the NFL ticket. But man, this should be Sunday night or Monday Night Football. My God, make that happen if you can. Tyreek Hill of the Dolphins said he is not afraid of Bills Mafia. So maybe look for him to be jumping through tables and shotgunning beers and throwing dildos around or something during the game. Miami dropped a 70 nugget on Denver and could have had the all-time record if they'd have kicked a field goal, but they called off the Dogs. And, they didn't want to embarrass the Broncos too bad. But with Buffalo being at 2-1 and Miami 3-0, it looks like finally the New England Patriots' reign of terror is finally over, and this very well could be an early AFC championship preview. So there's that. That's just weird. I wouldn't call it terrible, and I wouldn't call it good. It's just weird. Next up, the 2-1 Pittsburgh Steelers at the 1-2 Houston Texans. Myself and Andrew took Pittsburgh because Andrew's a Steelers fan and is going to take him, I think, every week regardless. Declan and Don took Houston. Pittsburgh maybe starting to figure it out on offense. Not quite 100% sure yet. Still a ways to go, but they are looking better in offense. But the defense is as long as TJ Watt's on the field, then they got a chance. Houston, CJ Stroud said he's not afraid of TJ Watt, and he's not going to lay down for him. They're, Pittsburgh's 3-point favorites. It could be worse, but Houston's starting to play better. So maybe it could be a pretty decent game. I mean, who knows? But I'd like to see a decent one. I'll be sleeping during all these games anyway, so I guess we'll wake up and find out. My nose is running. Hang on. I gotta clear this out. Hang on. You're not wanting it. There. There. The old gym teacher's handkerchief. There we go. Now I can breathe. Like that. That's the rest of the noon games. Now we got the 3 o'clock. Only 3 o'clock games this week. The Las Vegas Raiders at the LA Chargers. The Chargers, after finally beating the team last week in the Vikings, are 4.5-point favorites. The both teams are 1 and 2. Andrew took the Raiders. The rest of us took the Chargers. With the Raiders, Jimmy Garoppolo's concussion is a big issue. Was Garoppolo going to play? Who knows? The Raiders beat Denver week 1 and have looked like absolute dog crap since. So, not feeling too good about the Raiders. Like I said, the Chargers allegedly beat the Vikings last week after a monster game from Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert, where he didn't even have time to fart back there, and yet played the game of his life because, Minnesota rushed 8 guys every time they blitzed and still couldn't get the quarterback. My God, what are you doing? They just don't have the playmakers on defense. So, that's why we're, Chargers are, not 4.5 is not a heavy favorite, but still a lot of crap teams, crap games this week. Some more jelly beans. There's a Reaper one in there. Oh, boy. Oh, they're so hot. Nope, didn't go down. There we go. Arizona 1 and 2 at San Francisco 3 and 0. San Francisco 14.2 touchdown favorites. Are you kidding me? Again, parody in the NFL, right? I mean, why isn't San Francisco playing Philadelphia, early in the week? Give us some decent games to watch for once. We're all taking San Francisco, no surprise there. Arizona's a bad team, but they are a scrappy team. They did beat the Cowboys last week, and you know what? Minnesota could be 0-3, allegedly. But as long as Dallas loses and the Packers, I hope the Packers lose. They should have lost last week, but didn't. It's just the little things that make me happy there. With Arizona, their quarterback Josh Dobbs. Funny thing is, you can't even get a Josh Dobbs jersey. See, with this stuff, I can't even talk. A Josh Dobbs jersey in the team store. They apparently didn't think he was going to be that good, so they didn't even bother making replica jerseys for people to buy. San Francisco's got injuries at wide receiver, but probably not going to matter. I could probably suit up for San Francisco and at least go for 10 catches and $120, and I can't even run fast anymore. The popcorn's really good, Andrew. I don't know about freaking hot, but it is good. It tastes better than that one from here, believe it or not. It's not as heavy on the chili powder. Well, I think that's why I like it better. Not as salty. Like I am every time the Vikings lose. Oh, it just gets mad. You wait 8 months for football just to see your team come out and play like dog crap. It's just. Next up, New England 1-2 at Dallas 2-1. Dallas 7-point favorites against New England, because New England's one of those teams where, with Belichick and them, you'd think, man, they gotta be good at some point. Nope. Here comes Mac Jones, turnover machine. So it's no surprise that we're all taking Dallas. They're calling this Ezekiel Elliott's revenge game because he plays for the Patriots. You probably didn't even know that because he isn't literally doing anything there. But Bill Belichick is 5-1 versus Dallas. The one loss came in 2021. But this is a different Dallas team. The offense, whatever. As long as CeeDee Lamb puts up good numbers for my fantasy, allegedly. And, man. Holy cow, hang on. Dallas did lose to Arizona last week, which that was quite the shock. Their starting cornerback, Trayvon Diggs, brother of Stephon Diggs, out for the season with the torn ACL. What also didn't help Dallas last week is 13 penalties for 107 yards. That's a whole football field worth of penalties, and an easy a touchdown. 6-7 points. But so there's that. 2 games to go. Sunday night, Kansas City at the Jets. Kansas City is 9.5 point. Really? They're probably going to come, but again, it's almost. I wish they could almost make up the schedule as they go. Quit giving us these crap games every week. Kansas City 2-1. The Jets 1-2. If the Jets lose this game, they'll fall to 1-3. They're thanks Captain Obvious. But the Jets trading for Kirk Cousins, rumors will really pick up if the Jets lose this game, because the Jets have way too much talent to just throw it in for the season with the loss of Aaron Rodgers. I look for it to happen, but Daddy wants to be compensated if that were to happen. We all did pick Kansas City, no surprise there. The Jets did sign the ageless wonder, Super Bowl champion, Joe Flacco, this week. I'm guessing he's probably not going to start because they just signed him this week and does take 10. Unless Zach Wilson comes out and lays a turd again this week. But maybe next week looking for to trade for Kirk Cousins. I'm going to make another Taylor Swift reference here, and that'll be 2 for this video, and that is 2 more than I wanted to ever make in a video. But Taylor Swift could be Kansas City's quarterback, and they'll still win by 3 scores against the Jets. And now if Kirk Cousins was the Jets quarterback, well, that's a different story. But he's not, so Kansas City by a lot. I don't even know where to go. It's not overly terrible. It's just, if you've ever had bubble tea, sometimes the little gelatin nuggets, it's just a little odd. And you can kind of chew them a little bit. Remember Orbits? That's kind of what that reminds me of, but just grass-flavored Orbits. Last but not least, Monday Night Football. The 2-1 Seattle Seahawks at the 2-1 New York Giants. Seattle's 1.5 point favorites. We all took Seattle, and it's all going to come down to which Seattle team shows up, because one week they look great, then the next week they look like dog crap, and then there's the Giants, who also one week look, well, most of the time they look like crap, but, it took a miracle for them to beat Arizona. So there you have it. There's our Week 4 picks. Tune in next Tuesday to see how we all did, see who takes the lead, and for more expert picks. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, remember, no heat, no eat. Delicious.